I'm Michael. Went to Newcastle University for my undergraduate. Then I went to work in insurance for 4 or 5 years, after which I did an MBA. So I did the MBA at Judge Business School, which is part of Cambridge University.
Can you just explain to us what is an MBA?
Okay, yeah, sure. So an MBA it stands for Masters in Business Administration, which sounds, it doesn't really tell you much. It's sort of like it's a business-specific Masters where you get a real holistic picture of business. So one of the reasons I did it was I'd learned sort of client account management. I've learned some technical insurance things, but I have aspirations to be a leader at some point in my life, and an MBA sort of is designed to prepare you for that. So you do courses on strategy, marketing, on accounting and finance, corporate finance, statistics. So you learn a little bit about a lot of things. Mm-hmm. You can choose to sort of go into more depth on certain topics, and you can choose electives that suit your, if you want to go and work in private equity, you can choose private equity modules and that sort of thing. So I mainly focused on strategy and marketing on mine.
What was the application process like? And how did you kind of find out about your place and things?
So the application process for the MBA is it's not dissimilar to applying to grad schemes and things. It's an online application to start off with, and then you have to answer little essay questions about your, probably similar questions to today. What's your the failure that you learned the most from, and that sort of thing. So, which is fine. And I think they're looking for self-reflection. They're looking for people who can learn from their experiences and consciously talk about those. They're looking for people with decent sort of experience knowledge that they've gained from their working life that they can then sort of share with the class. Each application costs as well. You can't just apply to 60 like I did with my grad schemes. So I only applied to ones that I really wanted to go to. And they are you've got to put a lot of thought into your answers and that sort of thing. So I got a straight rejection from London Business School without being invited to interview. And then I got invited to interview at Oxford. Had quite a grueling interview from a bit of a bulldog interviewer. I hope you never watched this. And then I got a rejection after that, which was a good learning experience for me because I think it really prepared me for the Cambridge interview. They asked quite similar questions in a sort of more empathetic way, but it was a similar content. So yeah, I think I learned a lot from the failure of the Oxford interview for Cambridge, and then got the place eventually.
What do you think the benefits are of doing an MBA?
So I think there are probably 3 reasons why people do an MBA, there are 3 reasons why I did an MBA. The first was the people that you meet. A lot of people end up setting a business up with someone from the MBA, which I've done. I'm sure we'll get onto that. The second is what you learn. So I learned a lot about a lot of topics that I didn't know about before, especially accounting and finance and that sort of thing. So if I ever need to run a P&L or run a business that's making money, then these are all good things to know about. And then the third thing is to have an MBA on your CV, I think.
And what are the challenges?
Well, I was quite daunted about when I got the place to do the MBA and Cambridge and all that sort of thing, I was thinking, oh God, I'm not going to be clever enough to pass this course. But actually, the work isn't. I mean, it's challenging, but I think most people who've successfully completed an undergraduate could do the work. It's more just the volume. A lot of the UK programs, Oxford, Cambridge, London's slightly longer, but they're normally around a year, whereas in the US they're all pretty much all 2 years. But the content's quite similar, so they really cram in the lectures and that sort of thing. So I think I had about 6 or 7 hours of lectures a day for most days, and then you have the essays and the exams and things on top. So I'd say just the sheer volume of work is the most challenging thing about it. I think I've often gone through life doing just enough work to get me to the next stage, sort of doing just well enough in my A levels to get to the uni that I wanted to do, and then getting a 2-1, and then just enough to get onto a grad scheme. So I think the Cambridge MBA was a more putting myself out of my comfort zone and challenging myself more than I have done intellectually in the past. So.